March 22, 2002, the U.S. and Cambodian governments signed a repatriation agreement that would allow the U.S. to deport Cambodian nationals to Cambodia. This memorandum of understanding was signed secretly, and it marks the first time the U.S. has forced another country to sign such an agreement. According to elected officials from Cambodia, the U.S. threatened a moratorium on all visas from Cambodia to the U.S. and a rescinding of diplomatic support for aid packages to Cambodia. The U.S. is currently in secret negotiations with Laos and Vietnam to have similar agreements signed. There are over 9,000 people from Laos and Vietnam at risk of deportation. Over 1,500 Cambodians have final orders of removal. They came to the U.S. as refugees, and over one-third arrived between the ages of 2 and 10. Many are main income earners for their families, which include small children born in the U.S. All who are deported have already paid for their crimes through the criminal justice system.
Our story that is not being portrayed. Our stories of the continuing struggle to survive and our present-day struggle to achieve freedom, justice, and future for our families in this, our new country. We are here today, all of us, to tell this story. We are here because America was there. U.S. involvement in Southeast Asia was not just a mistake, it was immoral. It was a crime. And our families came to this country, the beacon of democracy and freedom, to seek safety and freedom from violence and persecution. And as with most immigrants, we were not welcomed. The U.S. refused to take Southeast Asian refugees until forced to do so by international pressure. Families languished in inhumane conditions in refugee camps for years. And when our families finally came to this country, our communities were divided up. And the immediate result was to continue the U.S.'s long-standing practice of breaking down community networks, separating families, placing immigrants and non-whites into urban poverty, poor neighborhoods, substandard housing, and without jobs or provision for negotiating the legal system, obtaining social services, or resources for those who lacked education and skills or had suffered severe trauma. 80% of Southeast Asians live in linguistic isolation, and our community has the highest poverty rates of any race or ethnicity in the U.S. And criminality is not imported or inherent in refugees and immigrants. Crime is brought about by the inhumane conditions in the U.S. Lack of resources, lack of family networks, the lack of basic human rights like food, water, shelter, education, and healthcare. And as long as these wretched conditions exist, citizens and non-citizens, all people will do what they have to survive. The condition in which poor people in the U.S. live is itself criminal.
In 1996, as a result of the rash anti-immigrant backlash from the Oklahoma City bombing, Congress passed 3 major acts that would forever tear apart families and communities. 1. The Anti-Terrorism and Effective Death Penalty Act removed the right to independent judicial review of cases that might qualify for deportation, thus making everyone convicted of aggravated felony mandatorily deportable. 2. The Illegal Immigration and Immigrant Responsibility Act expanded the definition of aggravated felony to include any crime that holds the potential sentence of over 1 year. This includes nonviolent crimes such as possession of marijuana, shoplifting, and auto theft. 3. The Welfare Reform Act limited one's ability to receive welfare benefits to 5 years, and it required that one be a citizen to receive benefits. Meanwhile, the naturalization tests for citizenship were becoming more difficult and more expensive. The impact on our families and on our communities has been tremendous. The INS provides little to no information to individuals with orders of removal or to their families.
You would come see me, so I thought it was just a basic routine checkup, and that's right. got there, I walked in, it was like 5 POs. Cut me up. Then my PO was talking to me, got a phone call. I said, from who? I said, from INS. He asked me what I do. I said, I didn't do a damn thing. And, a couple minutes later, INS came in, 2 guys. Said, we're ready to deport you. As soon as I heard that, my heart sank. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know nothing about it. These guys getting deported already. If I did, I would have been more prepared and my feeling would have been different. Instead, I was nervous, scared. I had $20 in my wallet. And they finally took me to a psychiatric county. Held me there for like a week. That first week was hard. Couldn't sleep, couldn't eat. When we got here, and they took us to the immigration office. They took us to our room where 5 guys share one room, get out for like 1 hour, then the rest of the day we'd be up there in the room, so we still feel like we still locked up.
How long were you in there for?
About a month. Supposedly they're supposed to hold us for like only like 10 or 12 days. They keep saying next week, tomorrow. It was a long ass month. The detentions.
Playboy has lived in Cambodia since October 2002. Under the current laws, he has no chance of ever returning to the U.S. In response to the heightened level of oppression bearing down on our communities, Southeast Asian grassroots organizations are fighting back. In August 2002, the Southeast Asian Freedom Network formed to offer support that the INS was not providing and to take a stand against this unjust policy. On November 8, 2002, we spoke out against this systematic effort to destroy our families. Over 9 cities participated in this National Day of Action, including Providence, Rhode Island, Bronx, New York, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Long Beach, Stockton, Oakland, Berkeley, and Davis, California. These are our stories, and this is how we're fighting back. History teaches us that injustice can only be transformed by people coming together to struggle against it. Today, third world communities across this country have come together to demand justice and human rights for our communities. Justice for all people.